welcome back, everybody. It's time once again for Closing the Wealth Gap. The one show, maybe the only show, that shows you how to close the wealth gap in your own life with the man who's done it for many, our wealth coach himself, Tyrone French. Hey, Tyrone.
Welcome to another episode of Closing the Wealth Gap. I'm your host, Tyrone French. Thank you for tuning in. And first and foremost, if you value the content, what I'd like for you to do is go to closingthewealthgap.net and hit that follow button. Also, I want you to go to my website. Check out our wealth club. It's TyroneFrench.coach. All my contact information there is on that website. My email information. So please feel free to email us at any time. And well, let's get. We got a big show.
You mean there's a club for wealthy people?
Right to it.
I knew there's a club for wealthy people. I didn't know I could join.
Well, think about it. You have the health club. You have the golf club. You have all these clubs, but you don't necessarily hear about a wealth club.
Never.
And so what we're saying is that, hey, look, you know what, we don't have to follow the same paradigms. We don't have to follow the same norms as everybody else. And things are changing. And just like you go to a gym, like we're getting January is quickly upon us, and people set up their New Year's resolutions beginning of the year. So health club is one of the first things that they think about. But how many people continue on with that gym membership?
No, I didn't.
2, 3, 4 months.
I didn't. Yeah.
So what we want you to do is put the wealth club on your list of things to do. And once you do that, you're going to get so much information, so much content. But the thing is, not only you're going to know what to do, you're going to know why you're doing it. And most importantly, you're going to know how to do it.
You know, that's an interesting thought, not just how to educate people, but if I want to get healthy, I can go exercise at home, but I don't. So the assumption is I need somebody to hold me accountable. I need to put some skin in the game. If I'm paying for a gym membership, then I better use it. And if I go, there's more experts there that know how to use the equipment and can help me do all this stuff. And if I go, I get motivated because I meet other people who are trying to get healthy. Like I'm hanging out with healthy people now here. All of that needs a place and a space and a thing to do. And I make a commitment to join, and I put up some money to make it happen, to pay for that community, to pay for access. But I never, ever, ever hear of anybody doing that for money, except the uber wealthy who belong to, the fancy private clubs, the country clubs, the special club. I'm reading about Davos. Wasn't that recently the gathering of all these titans, and they get together in Davos to discuss behind closed doors the world? That's a private club for the uber wealthy. Not even that,
but they even have social clubs, just private social clubs where you just go and mingle and share ideas, network, and $1 million deals are being done over drinks, cocktails and stuff. So again, this show is about redefining wealth for everyday people.
Yes, that was your breakthrough. This wealth is not for the exceptional, the lucky, the few, the gifted, the people who got a gift.
It's for ordinary people.
Yeah.
Everyday ordinary people that understands how to do it. But the thing is, Paul, you got to have a goal. You got it. This has to be something that you. It's not something that you fall into.
Clearly,
this is something that you do on purpose.
And I was thinking this the other day. You've said this a couple of times, and it eats away at me in the back of my head. Sometimes I hear these things and go, "Yeah, okay," and then I'm like, "Why am I still thinking about that?" He made a point. If you want to get healthy, you hang out with healthy people. If you're a kid, you grew up in South Central and tough neighborhood. If you go hang out with the troublemakers, you're going to get in trouble.
Exactly.
You are who you hang out with.
You're a part of what you are around.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so if you set your sight on a goal, but don't get out of the rut and the people around you saying, don't do that. You can't do that. That's not for me. That's not going to happen. Look around. Nobody does that. Then pretty soon you fall back into that common trap, and then you're working 9 to 5, paycheck to paycheck, because that's what everybody does. Right?
Here's the danger of it: your self-talk and your dialogue changes behind that. or your narrative changes.
Yeah, you talk about that a lot
and again,
too.
You're not picking up on, you're hanging out with certain individuals. All of a sudden you have these images, and all of a sudden you begin to have this conversation in your head, whereas Napoleon Hill called it auto-suggestion. And now you're doubting yourself. You're saying, this can't work. This isn't for me. Look at the people around me. They're not doing it. No, you literally have to change that narrative. And that's what we offer you at our health club, at our wealth club.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. Be a part of this organization, be a part of this community, and get this information so that you can change that narrative.
But if I'm going to join a wealth club, it's got to be really expensive, right?
Well, no, not at all.
I mean, a wealth club, that's $1,000 a month or something here. That's $1 million.
Our pricing points, you're talking about a basic membership is like $39.95.
What?
Basic. And that's just if you want email correspondence. If you want to sit down and have a face-to-face conversation with me, that's Zoom, where we can share screens and stuff. Paul, that's only $79.95 a month.
That's what a health club costs.
But again, we don't want people not to spend money. What we want to do is continue to spend that money, but change what you're spending that money on, meaning that start spending money on things that's going to add value.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. You're going to spend the money anyway.
Yeah, that's the truth. Every time I think
I'm going to spend it anyway. And even the time that it takes for you to get yourself together financially, to get your house in order, the time is going to pass anyway. So why not do some constructive things? Maybe make a couple of changes. Just like if you want to lose weight, you got to make a couple of changes to your diet. Make a couple of changes to your eating habit, when you're going to eat, when you're not going to eat. Yeah, it's a regimen. So even
the people you hang out with, if you're hanging out with the people who eat a lot, you're going to eat a lot. If you hang out with the people who eat bad junk food, you're going to eat bad junk food.
Not only that, you'll pick up the check.
Oh, that's true.
You'll pick up and be happy about it.
Yeah, because it's a happy meal.
Here's the thing, though. I do want to define this as well. Success, and this is what Phil Nightingale said. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal. So success is not manifesting or achieving the goal.
Okay.
Success is about the journey that you take.
It's climbing the mountain, not when you get up on top you say, success, ta-da, I'm on the top of the mountain now here.
Success is when you take that first step and you start that journey. And then you have these little indicators or these waypoints that's letting you know that you're on the right track. Just like if you're driving, going from your home to the studio, and you see certain landmarks, that's letting you know that you're moving in the right direction. It's no different.
I'll give you an interesting analogy, and then we'll get to today's topic here. A very good friend of mine that I've known for many years is very successful. And he owns lots of businesses. He's really made it. He's an attorney, but he's made it in real estate development and investments and other sorts of things. And so he's always got a deal going. I said, how do you know when you're really in a deal? I thought he'd say, well, you got to pass a certain threshold. Up to then, it's just fantasy and whatever. It's just fishing. I said, how do you know when you're in a deal? He said, the minute I start doing it.
Yes. And Paul, that's not uncommon. That's normal. If you're on the right frequency.
Yeah.
When you're on the right frequency and you have that mindset, that's normal. The vocabulary is normal. The terms are normal. The behavior is normal. Anything outside of that is abnormal.
But I'm looking for some kind of milestone you have to pass, some kind of feedback, some sort of outside validation. Hey, that's a good deal. Hey, you really got something here. And he's like, I just start doing it. I'm on the deal. So to him, it's no different than the minute he starts the conversation that might be a wild goose chase and never work out into anything. He doesn't treat that any different than the one he's made millions on.
But think about it.
They both start with that first step.
That first step, but the end result is doing that deal. But the deal doesn't come in the beginning. It comes in the end.
Right.
So when you're getting closer to closing that deal, whether it's real estate, insurance, selling a car, whatever it is, investments,
buying a house, something. Yeah, right.
Whatever it is, it's a process.
Right.
So just like going to the mall, you walk into that entrance, the first thing you're going to see is a directory. And it's going to say, you are here.
It does.
You're right here. And so then it's going to ask you, well, where do you want to go? Basically, it's not saying where do you want to go. It's going to say, you look, these are the stores that we have listed here. And if you want to go to XYZ store, this is the number of that store, and this is the path that you have to take. And oh, by the way, we're going to set up landmarks because you're going to see other stores that we've outlined on this map to get you to point A to point B, to let you know that you're.
So if I'm in the Wealth Club, do you say, where are you? Do you give me a tool so I can make an assessment? Here's where I am right now. And then you show me, give me some different possible paths and show me, draw a plot line, how to get there? Is it like going to the mall?
We specifically find out where you are. This is not a cookie cutter thing. It's an individualized program. And we find out specifically where you are, where you want to go, and we use modern technology. Matter of fact, we use it's an AI that we use that once you put your information in there, it's going to tell you what your strengths and weaknesses are. So it's not going to focus on your strengths. It's going to focus on your weaknesses and saying, you may think that you want to start over here, just like going to the gym. But the trainer may say, well, yeah, but no, you need to start over here.
Right.
Some people want to do cardiovascular. Some people want to do muscle strengthening. Some people want to do dieting.
Right.
That trainer will look at you and give a honest assessment as far as this is where you need to start.
Well, you know what I'm thinking? I got a bag of potato chips right here, so I just want to get it. I want the easiest, quickest. Well, all right, so today's topic is kind of related to this. It's changing your outlook. It's trying something new. It's having multiple paths to follow. We're all trained to follow one path. I do this. I get up in the morning. I do this. I go there. They pay me some money. I come home. I stick it in the bank. I go get some more. It's a straight
treadmill.
It's a treadmill because it's the same thing over and over and over again. A treadmill.
Robert Kiyosaki calls it the rat race.
Rat race, and the thing that we've all recognized as we've all been on treadmills is you don't go anywhere.
You don't go anywhere. You just complete that same cycle over and over and over again. And so here's the thing: there's a recession coming. Everybody knows.
You say that so casually.
Winter is coming.
Yeah, right.
Winter is coming. So the recession is coming. And
wait a minute! I hear something out there. Wait. No, I don't hear it. You're saying there's a recession coming? Does it knock on the door? Does it make a sound? How do I know it's coming?
Well, here's the thing, Paul. We're always ahead of the curve with this show.
Boy,
we're always announcing stuff the months before it happens, and all of a sudden, when it happens, everybody kind of like jumps on the bandwagon and start repeating that same dialogue.
You send me stuff all the time, and you say, "Remember when we talked about it?" And I go, "Oh yeah, that was like a year ago." Wow, look at this article in the newspaper. That's what's happening. That's what somebody else is talking about. He was talking about that a year ago. I thought he was crazy when he talked about that's not going to happen.
And again, I want you to, our listeners, go to closingthewealthgap.net and go back and listen to some of those prior episodes. As a matter of fact, bringing that up, we have a milestone that we're going to hit today.
Really?
This is the 50th episode of Closing the Wealth Gap.
Boy, most people never make it past 5. They run out of steam. They run out of ideas. They can't sustain it. Congratulations. I knew we were up there. I didn't know we were at that number. Yeah.
We're at 50, and I couldn't have done it without you, my friend. We couldn't have done it without the listeners and the support. And again, we're just starting.
Cheers.
Yes, sir, buddy. We're just beginning. And also, once we drop this episode, we'll be at 10,000 downloads.
10,000 people have downloaded this thing. That's shocking. That's
10,000 downloads, Paul.
And it's a drop in the bucket to where we're going. I really think so.
This is just the beginning.
Okay, so let's talk about today's topic. Is you think you know what the business of the 21st century is? I want to know: is it augmented reality? Is it cybersecurity? Is it the metaverse? What is the business of the 21st? It must be something really exotic that I know nothing about and probably can't do.
Well, here's the thing. Everybody, there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing. We're all just repeating the wisdom and the knowledge and understanding that we have in our time. And so Robert Kiyosaki wrote this book. And Robert Kiyosaki, if people don't know, he's the author of a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
And all the seminars he does and all the personal appearances and the whole series, he's become famous for this idea.
New York Times bestseller. Yeah. It's one of the best financial literacy books ever written. But he wrote another book called The Business of the 21st Century. And in this book, he explains, and basically what he says. As a matter of fact, I'm going to quote what he says out of his book.
Okay.
Now, in the business of the 21st
Robert, if you're listening, we're quoting your book.
He said, if I had to do all over again today and start from scratch, rather than building an old style business, I would start out building a network marketing business.
What? You're talking about multi-level marketing? That's been discounted. Nobody does that. That's got a bad image to it here.
It does. And you know why? Because the narrative has been, you know what? Thank you, but no thank you. I don't want to make money off of other people. Right. I don't want to make money off of other people's results. And so what I have to remind people is that, hey, look, you decided that you were going to get a job and you're working for XYZ company and you have a boss and you have a CEO. Don't you think that they're making money, the company and the salaries based on your efforts?
Yeah, gosh, I'm doing it for them.
People look at, they call it a pyramid or a pyramid scheme.
Right. I've heard lots of bad things about this.
And again, all the negative connotation is what's keeping people from becoming wealthy. The average ordinary person from becoming wealthy. Because people understand there's 5% of the population that understand what direct selling is. I don't care if you call it direct selling. I don't care if you call it multi-level marketing. I don't care if you call it network marketing.
Right. I've heard all those.
It's still direct selling. And guess what? It's regulated by the Federal Trade Commission.
What? I never knew that.
And the individual states that you live in. It's already regulated.
Because I was thinking it was sort of the Wild West, and it's unregulated, and that's how people get in trouble or scammed or taking money. We hear of these things, pyramid schemes blow up. And I know there's been successful ones for years. I come from Michigan. Amway, the Amway started in Western Michigan. Still a big deal. And I've been approached. I had friends of mine back there that did Amway, and they made money. And I don't know why. It seemed like, I don't know, there's something... I don't know. What is it? Something about this that doesn't make me jump up and down?
Everything evolves over time.
Right.
I don't see a whole lot of people driving a Ford Model T today.
No.
No, you don't see. But it's still it's an automobile. It's a vehicle. So in the early days of network marketing, you mentioned the Amway. You mentioned you got Mary Kay.
Mary Kay is another
Avon,
one. Yeah.
You got Tupperware.
Right.
A lot of these companies went through growing pains. And some things they got right and some things they got wrong. But once it became regulated, and there was a standard for everybody follows that same standard. And so, again, you have what's called, they'll call it like a pyramid, but you have illegal and you have legal. And the difference is, if you look at a corporation and there's a CEO at the top, and that CEO could be making millions of dollars a year.
Probably.
Down at the bottom, you have a lot of workers, a lot of employees.
The worker bees.
Whatever you want to call them. But you can have thousands of them within that organization. But you got one CEO at the top. One CEO at the top. Now, if you just took a line from that CEO and came all the way down to the employees, you'd find yourself in a pyramid.
Yeah.
But people don't look at it like that, Paul.
No.
They're saying, hey, look, you said that you're going to pay me X amount of dollars. You're going to trade time for money. And you're going to pay me X amount of dollars. And at the end of the week or 2 weeks, I get my check. And a part of that equation also is the federal government because of income tax. And they're going to take their money right off the top.
Yeah, I don't even see it.
And there's a lot of other benefits that you're not going to receive just by being a part of that system. In Robert Kiyosaki's book, he called it the cash flow quadrant. And what that means is that you got 4 quadrants. In one quadrant, you have employees. The other, and we call it the left side and the right side. On the left side, you have employees and self-employed or independent contractors. On the other side, the BI, you have the business owners and the investors, which is on the right. All he's trying to do is get people to change their paradigms and change he calls it where you're living.
Change your position on the board. Move from over here over to there.
You want to go from the left side to the right side.
Mm-hmm. I want to be on the right side. I've been on the wrong side too often.
You want to get to the point where you're a business owner and an investor. Because again, the top 5% of the income earners in the United States are either business owners or they're investors.
Yeah.
And you don't get around that.
You mean the employees aren't the people that are just employed, aren't the ones making all the money? I had another very good friend of mine, and had a nice living. Still had, I think he finally retired. And he said, I lived well. I got a nice house, drive a nice car. Why is it I'm just always working for money? And the more I make, the more I spend. And he really felt, I said, well, gee, you run a factory, you run other things, you have a big job. I don't know why. It's not enough.
And the more you make, the more they take.
Yeah.
You get a raise, the federal government gets a raise.
He said, I wish I had gone into business somewhere along the way for myself. I guess I was too scared. I thought this was too easy. This was too safe. This was too secure. It's not that I didn't do well, but I could have done better, and I could have had more control over my time. He moved all over the country. He worked long hours. He missed his kids. He did lots of things that he sacrificed for that job, and in the end, they didn't care.
Again, we know that the fastest way to wealth is by creating your own business, and most people don't know how to do that.
No,
they don't know what to do.
Clearly,
they don't know why they're doing it. They don't know how to do it. And what Robert Kiyosaki and all these, there was an article in Inc. magazine, Inc. magazine about corporations. They were talking about direct selling, multi-level marketing, and that's the ticket that you need to start in. Because not only you get for a small dollar amount, a small investment, maybe $100, you can start your own business. Maybe for about $75 a month, you can run your own business. But what you're going to be getting is valuable business training. And now you're going to have tax deductions that you necessarily didn't have before.
Use of my car, use of my home, suddenly things I have no business use for, I can deduct from my whatever income I do make here.
Again, you're going to spend this money anyway. So why not use leverage to whereas you're making your number one expense for a lot of individuals out there are income taxes.
Oh, yeah.
So let's say you started a network marketing business, multi-level direct selling, and you never made a dime from the company, but you got all this valuable experience. Now, because you still have a full-time job and you were starting your network marketing business part-time, now you have legitimate business expenses to offset some of that money that was taken from you from the IRS. So you still won. Even though you didn't make a dime from the network marketing company, now you have legitimate business expenses from the tax code that you can apply to your taxes. And you still win.
Well, I see this all the time because I do some part-time consulting. I run this radio station. I produce podcasts. And I have a part-time, my little part-time gig is working for the Small Business Development Corporation here in Southern California. They have 6 or 7 offices, and they have one that's called a Digital Marketing Center in Santa Ana. And I teach people some things about digital marketing, whatever I can help. We're sort of like surgeons. We come in and you need some little special thing. We'll show you how to do this.
Hey, Paul, I get that. We're running out of time.
Yes, I'm sorry.
But there's some things I got to get to.
All right, go.
Because
I was just going to say, I see this a lot where people come in, they're doing little side gigs, and they want to turn it into a business.
But that's what I'm talking about. You turn it into a side gig, but again, you're still trading time for money.
Oh, clearly, yeah.
So what you want to get to the point to whereas you're using leverage.
Right.
And so that's the secret sauce with network marketing.
So how does that work?
Again, not to cut you off, but what you just said, that's what a lot of people think that, okay, well, I have this one function, which is I got my bread and butter, which is, let's say it's my full-time job.
Right.
Then I'm going to start a side gig on the side. Again, that is you trading time for money.
Clearly.
What I'm saying with direct selling and network marketing, You could be sitting at your full-time job and you're still making money without you physically being there.
Hard to wrap my head around that. I've never experienced that.
That right there is we call that an income producing asset.
Right.
And so now you have full financial literacy. Financial literacy is not just about looking at your income and expenses and managing your liabilities or your loans and saying, hey, I'm doing a good job this month and I broke even. I worked 40, 50, 60 hours. I have a little money set aside in a savings account or 401k, and I'm managing my expenses and my liabilities. And wow, look how financially astute I am.
Right.
But no, you still do not have financial literacy because most people what's dropping to their asset column? Nothing. And so what that means is that if you don't have income producing assets, you're still going to be on that treadmill. And some people are not going to get off that treadmill for 10, 20, 30, 40 years because they had a side gig. But all that did was add more
time.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
More time.
So like I said, didn't mean to cut you off, but that's the narrative that a lot of people have. With network marketing, you don't have that because now you're leveraging maybe 10, 20, 30, 40 thousands of people that's out there interested in starting a business, creating an income producing asset that not only that they can survive off of, but that they can pass down to future generations.
So I know you believe in this. You've talked about it before, and I know you personally do some network marketing. Can you share any of those that you do? Because I don't even know how to find one.
I started. Here's what I want you. This is what I want you to do. I want you to go to my website, TyroneFrench.coach.
Okay.
You're going to find different links on there as far as what I do and how I do it.
Okay.
But also, shoot me an email. Send me a text message, and let's have a dialogue. We can do a Zoom call.
Because I think there's a lot of people like me that said, "Okay, I'm intrigued. You got me interested. The money comes in. I don't. It's not just trading time for money. I got one job now. I got two jobs. I got to work 40 hours, 60 hours. It's leveraging other people's assets. It's an asset that produces. I get all that, but okay, so what? So I don't know where to go. How to do this?
We only got so much time to cover this. So I want to give people the resource as far as this is where you go to get it.
That's what I want.
But here's the thing, I'm a business owner, okay, and based on what I do and how I do it, for me, when I first started out, I knew that I needed to have legal representation. Mm-hmm. I didn't want a lawyer or a law firm just to make sure that when I got into trouble, that I had a lawyer that I can talk to.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to make sure that I was making the right moves before I did it.
Yeah, you got to write contracts, you got documents, you got to create buy and sell agreements. Yeah.
So a lot of people don't. They may go into a lease. Just like my office, I turned my office into my studio, and so I have a lease for this office. Most people will buy. They'll buy into it. They'll get a lease, but they don't. They'll read the lease. Not knowing that the lease is really not constructed for you. It's constructed for the landlord.
Doesn't protect your interest.
That's right. It doesn't protect your interest. Your responsibility, you're committing to a certain dollar amount every single month. And stop paying that dollar amount. I tell people the same thing with their homes. They call themselves a homeowner all the time. And I'll tell them, stop making that mortgage payment, and you'll find out who really owns your home.
Yeah, right.
So what I wanted to do was just make sure, just for little incidental things, little mundane things, that I had an a top-rated law firm that I can email my documents in and fax them in or give them a call and go and have a conversation about what I'm doing.
Right.
And so, lo and behold, the company that I deal with directly is a network marketing company. See? So because it works so well for me, just like going to a show, a movie, and you go back and you tell your friends about the movie that you just saw, and you highly recommend it, and your friends go to that movie and check it out, and they come back and give you a pat on the back. Paul, that was a great movie. But did you get paid for that?
No.
You didn't make a dime.
No.
So people see me and they see my demeanor, they see what I'm doing, they see how I carry myself. It's like I want to do what you're doing. How do you do this? How do you do that? And I'm able to tell them, hey, look, this is what I do. This is how I do it. And I had a situation where my law firm took care of this. How do I get the same service? Go to this website, you sign up for this membership, and in the process, not only are they getting great service, but I get paid. I get paid to do it.
Because you're referring them.
People on this show, they know that I like silver. I'm a silver guy. Mm-hmm. I like collecting silver. And the reason that I do it is to protect my future purchasing power. That's the number one reason that I do it, to protect my future purchasing power.
Listen to our last show.
We talked in the past that a Happy Meal, right now, a Happy Meal is costs $8, $9.
Yeah, not so happy.
And about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, that same Happy Meal is going to cost $100.
I wouldn't be happy about that. Well,
so you cannot trade. What I'm telling people is that you can't get to the point where you're trading enough time to generate enough income, because it's not going to work.
Clearly.
You're going to have to use leverage. And the best way to leverage yourself is just like what Robert Kiyosaki is saying. It's the same thing that the U.S. Chamber of Commerce is saying. It's the same thing that Inc. magazine is saying. Fortune magazine is that it's time for you to start a network marketing.
So I'd love the next show to you break it down. How do I research them? How do I find them? How do I pick a good one from a bad one? How do I decide which one's best for me? How do I enter that world that I've never seen? This is a world I know nothing about. I hear on the fringe, oh, he's doing network marketing. He's doing over there. You tell us all the time I'm doing some. But I don't know I don't know how to get in. I don't know how to find my way around the world. I don't know what to expect.
And here's another thing. And again, we will do a part two to this show. But here's another thing. People know me. I'm a licensed insurance agent for the state of California.
Right.
I started out working for New York Life back in 1990. That's how I got my start. I went through their training. Great company. I got all the training, the fundamentals that I need to do to start my own, become an independent contractor, start writing with different companies. But here's the thing, Paul. With insurance, or whether it's mortgages or whatever, I can create my own agency. So if I'm creating my own insurance agency and I have agents working under me, mm-hmm. and those agents are bringing in other agents that are working under them, and those agents are bringing in other agents that are working under them, that is multi or direct selling.
I'm the CEO sitting at the top of a team.
But here's the thing with direct selling and network marketing, you don't have to be at the top to make all the money.
Yeah, that's what you keep saying.
And again, we call that a pyramid, which is a legal pyramid. The CEO is making more money than most people in the company.
Right.
In direct selling, the person down at the bottom can be making more money than the person at the top.
All this
because
and more
their network
entices me to hear a round two. You got me interested. Now tell me how to do it. Yeah, I think that should be the next show, or one of the next shows. This is what I
want you to do. First and foremost, these are our final thoughts today, Bob.
Final thoughts.
First thing, I want you to, if you like this content, I want you to go to closingthewealthgap.net. I want you to hit that follow button. If you like,
show us you're out there and you like it. We're on the right path here, right?
Keep it going. If you want to become a patron, if you want to contribute to it, there's a link on there that you can hit as well. But secondly, what I want you to do is go to TyroneFrentz.coach. Click on contact. You're going to have a direct link to me. You can email me. You can call me directly. Call my office. People are shocked when they call and
you answer.
I pick up and I'm talking to them on the phone. Yeah. It's like, oh my God.
I heard him on the radio. Now I can hear him on the phone. Yeah.
But that's who we are. That's what we do, because we're redefining wealth for everyday people.
Amen.
Every day. And again, people think wealth is something that's so far-fetched that, it's out of their league. It's out of their sphere of sphere of reality.
It's for the
and
few.
What we're saying is just for ordinary people.
So give us the links and let's let this simmer and digest, and then come back and tell us you pointed us in the path. They listened. Now they want to follow, lead us down the path, take us through the next steps. Not today, but next time. Right now, tell them where they go. Where's the start of the finish? Where's the start of the race? Where's the start of the path here? It starts
Again,
at your website.
Just like I said earlier, I want you to go to TyroneFrench.coach, study that page, check it out. At the top of the page, you're going to see different categories. You're going to see our Wealth Club is there. You're going to see services that are there. If you click on services, we have calculators on there. We have articles on there. We have also, when you click on that page, we have I call it a financial wellness center, where you're going to click on it, and this is free. You're going to click on, and you can literally do your own financial plan.
Wow.
It'll take 5 minutes, Paul, to input your information, and you have your own financial plan that you can print out and keep with you. And like I said, when you do that, there's going to be a follow-up, whereas a computer is going to say, okay, well, this is where you are, and you said this is where you want to go. These are the steps that we're going to do to get you there.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, the first step is they come and listen and come back again, because we got lots more of this. Even if you falter, even if you fall along the way, it seems like you're always willing to pick people up and deal with them where they're at. Come on, I know you took 2 steps backward. Let's get you back on the path. Let's get you up again. That's what a coach does. Yes. Come on, coach. Keep me going.
Yes. And final thought, I want people to get this into their lexicon, their psyche. With all you do, believe in you. At the end of every show now, we're going to tell people, with all you do, believe in you. Because without belief, none of this stuff works.
That's the truth. Amen to that. Thank you so much. Coach, put me in. I'm ready. I'm ready to play.
Outstanding.
All right. That's our show for this week. Closing the Wealth Gap. The one show, the only show that shows you how to take control of your financial future. Right here in Orange County's only community radio station, OCTalkRadio.net.